Stop the recording. Stop the recording. Stop the streaming. Stop the streaming. I don't know what this weird funky tune I'm doing is. Just making sure I've all my ducks in a row. Well, I don't even have a music playing. That's the most important duck of all. There's also a new album release, it seems, on Chill Hop. The dulcet tones of, I don't know what this album's called, but it's by Mummy, Philanthrope, and Carl McEvoy? Oh wait, hold on. That's what each one is named. Oh, it's the best of Chill Hop. I can't read. Anyway, I'm just gonna wait for the streaming notifications to come up, because what we'll be doing, we'll be finishing off. I can take that entire screen. This drawing, November 2024, and then whatever time we have left, because I'll probably only be streaming for about 2 hours today, maybe even less, I don't know. Then we'll be hopping over to Button City to see what's going on. And the reason I'm starting with drawing instead of Button City is because I don't know how long this drawing will take, to be honest. Because it doesn't seem like it's going to take nearly as long as usual background shading stuff is, because most of it is going to be quite blurry, and we're going to be using a lens flare effect, I think, for a lot of it, so that's why. So in case it takes half an hour, in case it takes 1 hour 20 minutes, this is why we're starting off with that instead. But nonetheless, as people slowly drift in here, we will get started with, I'm not sure, you know, I feel like I'm out of practice with drawing. I also don't want to render this pie, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to be 100% upfront. That seems like a pain. But, well, we're going to do it anyway. Or at least I'm going to do, like, you know, we can take shortcuts when we want. But yes, we'll start with the background. I'll turn off the background shading, I don't know why that's so hatty. The background sketch should also, I don't know why it's in the art folder. Very confusing. I just put it in the text folder. That's even worse. Excuse me? Hello? There we go. So yeah, we'll just sort of turn that down a bit. My mind is buzzing right now. Really, I should have recorded the Animal Crossing episode first, because I want to talk about Arcane, but obviously I'm not going to do that because it just came out, and a lot of people have not watched it yet. So, I'll respect that, obviously. Imagine if I was like, no, I'm not going to respect that, we're going to spoil everything. And I'll keep it in a self-contained thing where people are not going to randomly stumble across spoilers that they might not necessarily have wanted. I don't know how straight we should make this countertop as well. Maybe we should make it very straight like this, because I guess it should be, all things considered. Countertops are rather level playing fields, aren't they? So if we can do this, I don't know if we want to do any more to that. I think that's probably fine. It's a bit of a dull colour I think I used for this. I don't know how dark or bright a colour I want to use though. Because it still needs to be dark enough that we can actually light it up a little bit. But it also needs to be, why am I doing it like this as well? Hold on. These stripes are all whack, but it also needs to be, I forgot what I was going to say. It needs to be dark enough, such that we can actually lighten it, but also bright enough such that it gives off, it evokes the correct feeling. So we can do things quite regimented using this. We can always edit later if we think it's not quite the right distance apart. Oh no. There we go. Wonderful. I'm not 100% sure on that colour choice. I think what we should do, what we'll do is we'll make the countertop skew a bit more on the red side. Yeah. Just a bit on the red side. Just to give it a bit of contrast. Maybe a bit darker as well, this countertop, yeah. Sort of like a chestnut coloration, you know? Or like a bit of chestnut. So the countertop, this is cupboards. This actually has to be our highest layer. Otherwise, we are going to get rather confused. And I guess I'll put a window. Let's start with a window. To a window, to the walls. I'm not going to complete the rest of that song. I also don't even know what song that is. The only reason I know that song, very randomly, is because there used to be a channel called Achievement Hunter, and they sang it there once. That was literally it. There was no... Oh, hold on. It should not be. This is not what happens. That's a wall. Okay. Everything should be above the wall. Let's make it a bit more yellow. We do want things to skew in a non-grey direction, because that, in my opinion, feels a bit more cozy, doesn't it? Or we can do something like this. And then... I'm not really sure how we're going to do this window part. Do we want to draw it on top? Do we want to have transparency? No, I think what we'll do... Because we're not actually going to draw much out the window. It's just going to be a bright light. Hello to you, non-wed. Achievement unlocked. Real life achievements. That feels like it should be a skip from like the early 2000s or something, which I bet College Humor did or something at some point. College Humor, Freddie W. I can absolutely see them doing it. Achievement unlocked. And then, I don't know, go on comedic tangent. I'm not a comedy writer. Don't ask for more details for that. That'd be cool though. They should do that. They should allow you to put like achievements onto your streams, so then people can be I don't even know what achievement I do. I feel like I would want to do very weird, wacky, wonderful, whimsical, one might even say, achievements. I also wonder, can I do rounded edge of a selection box? Oh, you know what I can do, which I didn't actually consider till just now, as an easier way, because I was looking at the oven and I was like, this is not, it's not the vibe, this is not it. Well, it might be it, but I have to figure out how to do this. Hold on, because I'm just like, the angles, they're all wrong, atrocious. Not frame. I need to create a polygon. I need a rectangle. Oh, that just creates it. Wait, how do I... Why can't I drag it? A roundness of corner. There you go. That's kind of what I wanted, except I wanted... Maybe I turn off aspect type in a minute. Oh, right, there we go. Now I can drag it. Okay. More roundness of corner. That's too round. Some streams I get, you watch 3 streams in a row. Maybe it's our partner channels. Maybe. Maybe we'll be there one day. I'll be there one day. 'Cause I want to be famous. Na 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 na. There you go. That's a much nicer way, I think, to do the round edges of the oven, which I have no idea why I didn't think about that last time, but still. We have our polygon tool, we use it to our effect. I will say, I've never seen the you watch 3 streams in a row thing. I feel like it's difficult to catch a stream, well, okay, let's be real. The only stream I watch is Northern 9, but he always streams quite late-ish for me. Most of the time, by that point, I'm either not watching streams or whatever. Oh wait, does he stream late or does he stream early? I don't remember. Anyway, I just sometimes you know you got to pause and you want to come back to it, and the stream doesn't allow that for you. Sometimes you gotta take time to do stuff. Which, to be fair, credit to the YouTube live stream platform, does allow you to actually do. Which I did say at some point I was going to try like double streaming, because I'm not under a contract, of course. I can stream wherever I want. I think I'll change this window frame as well to more of a darker brown, just so we have something which gives a bit of contrasting colour in here. We can't have everything be such a pale white. But yeah, I was going to try streaming on the YouTube platform as well at some point. And also because a lot of people who actually watch my stuff are on YouTube, to be fair. They might not even know that I'm on here. I hope they would, but that's, you know, sometimes that's how life be. I guess I'll do this for the sun. I want it to be yellow enough that I want like a yellow halo glow, like this. The sun is huge, apparently, in this window. And I don't know, I guess we'll do streaks out like this. Doesn't really matter, you're not going to see most of it. You found it in a YouTube, it's like another multiverse. It's completely different. To be fair, I think with YouTube it's like a, I don't know, being in a pre-recorded setting helps in some ways. But also I guess the biggest difference is the fact, oh, hello, Murder NTT. It's quite a brutal name. But being in YouTube means that basically I had to talk to myself and I have nothing which can help prompt it. Except for what I'm doing in game, which means I start going, I was going to say a little loopy, but that's not really the right word. I'm not going loopy, but it's more like the conversations just go all over the place. At least with Twitch, you know, you can get prompted. You can answer questions and things like that, so it feels a bit more like a conversation. Well, I guess it literally is a conversation, isn't it? YouTube is just the mad ramblings. You know, I did turn this counter reddish, and I kind of like regret it because it doesn't actually fit very well. But I need something to tie in with a red dress, so I guess that will have to be in between. Maybe if anything, I should turn the wall reddish. Or a bit more reddish than it currently is. Or maybe the countertop should be slightly less reddish. Maybe that's the way we want to go, huh? Anyway, how are you all doing on this fine day? I say fine day, it's a very dreary day here in England. Completely overcast sky, raining. Well, raining earlier, now it's not raining, so now it's just the overcast sky without the soothing sound of raindrops. Also, now I think about it, we also do need to do the halation on this background layer, whether my lens flare brushes. The MVP, that way, of most of my pattern brushes is because I use this one so much. I think that'll be good. We can change that later, should we need to. Let's start putting stuff on the countertop. Yeah, what should we talk about? See, it's a bad thing about watching Arcane yesterday is I just want to talk about Arcane, but I don't also want to because I'm like, it's spoilers, I need to think about it a bit more. I'm going to be talking about it in Animal Crossing. It's snowing here since yesterday, but not too cold yet. Oh. By the way that you're reacting, it sounds like snowing is a rather common occurrence, wherever you may be. In which case, you know, could be fun. I don't know. I was trying to think of like a comment to make, but I was like, I don't know how bad the snow is. Snowing, at least in UK, is honestly not too bad for like an existence standpoint. But like it does. We're not that used to having too much snow. We're used to cold, not necessarily a lot of snow. This is like, how do I draw a tap? I don't know. When it doesn't affect you, snow is very snowy area. Okay, fair enough. You must be very well accustomed to it then. Because I was just like, I wonder if I should say something like, you know, I hope you're prepared or something. Which I'm not sure what on earth that would mean in this context, but you probably very are prepared, if anything. I did not watch Arcane Nordo plan to so you can ramble to me about it. No, well, one, thank you for the very generous offer, but two, no, I'll ramble about it in Animal Crossing. I need to get my thoughts in a row when I can just sit down in front of the residential plaza. What's it called in Animal Crossing? I forgot. It's not the town hall, the resident services. Gosh, first time chatting. It's a good thing that we catch these links, eh? Get out of here, spam. was I going to say? Snowy weather though. Like, it actually snowed very recently in the UK in November, which is quite early for it to snow. Because I feel like my memories of snow from childhood when I was very young was, ooh yes, snows around Christmas time, white Christmas sort of things here and there. Lovely, wonderful. That's what the Christmas carols are all about. Then you get a bit older and it starts snowing later and later and later. No more white Christmases, start snowing in January. And even when I get older and older and older, sometimes it snows in February. Sometimes even March. And we're like, what? Imagine my surprise when it actually snowed in November. Of all times. I was like, what? We never get snow in November. Nevertheless, snow that actually settled. Of course, I'd imagine your perspective on snow might be a little bit different, seeing as you probably deal with it much more often than I do. I'll 100% admit, selfishly, that I like snow because of the aesthetic of it. Ignoring the practicalities of, you know, delayed transport, being snowed in, whatever. I guess it carries a sense of nostalgia to it. What is this? Ah, that must be a tea towel. I was like, what on earth have I drawn here? It's the 3rd November snow this year. Gets earlier and earlier. Gosh. You know, global warming, I suppose, and all that. Well, climate change and all that, I should say. Oh, tea towel actually needs to go on top. I didn't think about that. This can be a red and white tea towel. I didn't see why not. Not to put a damper on things. I like going on a walk through snow though. It is nice though. Snowy walks. It's very much up there with one of the top tier whether it's just a walk through. What's number 1? I think people want to say sunny day, which I think, you know, is fair and probably the normal answer. But a light rain, when you are prepared for it, i.e. you have an umbrella, you have a raincoat, you have, or you found shelter, you don't need to go out too much. It's fantastic. Mainly because I just like the sound of rain. Slightly windy weather in autumn with the falling leaves. If you're walking through a wooded area, I guess, now I think about it. Not everyone has the privilege of that, but still. That's a very top tier experience as well. I guess we can have a red kettle. Yeah, I was so worried about the fact that I had nothing red to tie in to the outfit choice, but no, turns out we're quite a lot. Also, I've not seen one of these traditional kettles for like ages, to be honest. It's more of a, like, as I understand it, in America, it's still quite common to use these stovetop kettles because you do not, I say you, people in America do not have electric kettles as commonly, mainly because of a voltage difference, isn't it? From I think 110 volt. I didn't get a tan from standing in English rain. I don't even know what the implication of that has been. You can get a sunburn on cloudy weather, which is very common, I suppose, for some people in England. Do I burn that easily? I don't burn easily in England, I will say that much. It's from a Beatles song. Oh, okay, fair enough. So I don't know Beatles' discography very well. I know Yellow Submarine, and none of the lyrics apart from Yellow Submarine for that. I know I wanna hold your hand. What other Beatles songs do I even know? Oh, my Beatles, what am I saying? My Beatles knowledge, I feel like, now I think about it, is very much summed up by, there was this old, get ready, we're going on a tangent, this old YouTube channel called Collective Cadenza, which basically made these sort of like mashups of songs. I still think they exist, I just don't think they're active anymore. They make like these mashups of songs or whatever, in like creative ways. Like their first video they've ever done was basically a mashup of the songs which had non-lyrics as lyrics. So it had like do a diddy diddy dum diddy do, and la 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 la, stuff like that. Anyway, they do all of this stuff, and one of them they did was the Beatles songs, But they did a couple going through like a breakup or something. And from that's all my Beatles song knowledge. So it's like, I wanna hold you. She came in through the bathroom window. When? 8 days a week. My parents had 3 vinyl records of the Beatles when I was a child, and I'd play it all the time so much it got stuck in my brain. Oh, that's cool. I don't think I've actually... No, that's not true. I was going to be like, I'm not sure if I've actually seen a vinyl record player in real life, but that's not true. I had a friend in university who collected like these vinyl records and stuff. I feel like he had an Undertale one, which was pretty crazy. Because I don't think he even played Undertale, but apparently like where I went to uni there was like a record store somewhat nearby, and he would go to there and he would play them. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, okay. I was thinking of like how much more do I want to render these backgrounds, but no need to. Okay, let's do shelf. Playing around with a vinyl record player was of course fun as a child too. I don't think I've ever actually like touched a vinyl record player in real life or anything like that. Obviously, I know what they look like. This is not meant to. It's not like a Gen Z experience of not knowing what a floppy disk is and being like, oh, that's a save icon. I know what a vinyl record player is, a gramophone or whatever it's called. But I've never used one. No. Is that true? No, I probably used one when I was much, much, much younger, because when I have a distinct memory that we had like a stereo system when I was like 2 or 3, which had like a vinyl thing at the top, but I'm not sure if I've ever actually used it, probably because I was like 2 years old and probably should not be, excuse me, trusted holding a vinyl record player at that age. What the heck is this? Brooks? This is meant to be plate. I don't know, but like, part of me, I feel like there's a lot of things, you know, especially with older technology, which part of me is like, oh yeah, I would love to, you know, just have one of those one day. But also part of me is just like, I would literally never use it if I had one of those. As cool as it would be, don't get me wrong, would be very, very cool. Would be spectacularly interesting. Should have done this one first, I didn't think it through. You know, I was going to do that, but I actually think this might work better as a clock rather than a pan. Because things like, you know, those old Polaroid cameras would be super cool to have. Record player. Fun fact, by the way, clocks and watches and advertisements almost always, if analog, show 10 past 10. Because apparently subconsciously it's meant to look like a smiley face, or the arrangement of for clock handles. I don't know how true that is as well. Bit low for a clock. Ah well. That's true. I guess we could do it like this and maybe, but then you can't actually see it. Okay, we're going to break the rules of interior design for a moment and keep it here just so we can actually see it. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, 10 past 10 in watch and clock adverts. Supposedly. Don't know how true that is. The only reason I know that is because it's anecdote time. Back in year 7, which was the start of secondary school in UK, we all had to come in to class, like each of us one day would have to come in with a fun fact or something. And oh man, hold on, I just had a flood of memories. We all had to come in with a fun fact and give out some facts. And when it was my turn, I had 2 facts lined up. One of them was about the kamikaze ants, which basically when they're in like extreme danger, they like walk up to and they need to like defend their colony or whatever. They'd walk up to predators, and then I can't remember what they do, but they like contract their guts or something in such a way that they rupture and explode, which was crazy from like year 7 me, which is about 12 years old, to understand and hear about. I was like, what? That's crazy. But I also had the other fact, which is our watch fact, where supposedly 10 past 10 is the most common time for these adverts because it's meant to look like a smiley face. And I didn't get to say that cool fun fact I got, which is okay, because it turns out my friend forgot to do that. Oh, why don't we put a little retro on? My friend forgot to get a fun fact when it was his turn, and I just gave him that fun fact. And it was very cool. But I also have another memory of, we were doing, I can't really remember what, but basically there's these things like morning assemblies in UK schools, which is when the entire school sort of comes together. The headmaster will sort of read out like reports about like things that are happening. You're like, oh look, our school did like this, or like this thing is coming up, alright, be careful everyone, or be wary, etc, etc, etc. But sometimes each class would have to have one day of a year or something, or maybe 2 days out of a year, where they had to run the morning assembly, which often just basically refers to they had to put on, performance is a wrong word, but put on some sort of morning thing for people to watch. And oh, I should have done the can stop separately. It's not too late. Yeah, some morning thing to put on for people to watch. I remember one of the years that we did it, we did one about like silly laws and rules or something. I can't remember the exact. What? 1 second. Oh, that's separate to that one. I didn't realise that. Why did I do that? I don't know. And the one, and like we all had to basically go and research these like silly laws or silly regulations, etc, etc, and try and do our best to actually do a performance out of them. I remember one I did. It was one with me and my friend, and we did it with a teacher. And our silly / law regulation was or something. It was something about the fact that Pritt sticks, which is basically a glue stick, this is the name brand of a glue stick in the UK, were given like multi-page documentation or something about the dangers of it, for what that teachers were meant to sort of abide by while using them. I still remember the sketch we did. I don't know why I remember this, but the sketch we did, me and my friend, we walked on, and our teacher, our form tutor, she came on as well. We were like, all right, now, as you know, congratulations on your new job, being a teacher. The first thing you had to read is this like 900-page documentation on Pritt sticks, and she like would pretend, we'd hand it over, and she would like, whoa, do the thing where she pretends it's really heavy. I mean, I can't, maybe I don't remember as well as we thought. But for my friend mimed dying. And the only thing I remember, the punchline of it was like he mimed dying after like holding the Pritt stick or something. And I was like, oh, yeah, you forgot these. And I got some like safety goggles out from my pocket and just chucked it at him. That was it. Which was, I don't know. It's just very classic, I think, sort of secondary school-esque, primary school-esque sort of performances, where it's just like, oh, how do we make sure that someone dies in this performance for no apparent reason? I don't know, kids are just kind of like that, aren't they? Might make us a dark shop. Oh, I should have made it the same colour as this. No, actually, I'll make a window frame the same colour as that, because this is a much nicer colour. So that's basically that. Let us decorate this tea towel as well, I think. Let's put, what have I done? Let's put a pattern on it. I don't know what pattern I'm going to put on it, but we'll improvise. Anyway, the whole reason I was talking about that was because there were silly laws that we covered, and we were all meant to do research for some silly laws we found. And I didn't actually do the research. Sorry to my teacher. What I did was I recounted a story I read once on this old 2000 website called FML, which is basically just meant to, oh no, maybe this one was off MLIA, which stood for My Life is Average, but it eventually became My Life is Awesome because it was filled with like stories of people have like small wins or anything. That's probably how I describe it. Oh, let's make us polka dots. Anyway, I remember recounting a story on there where a guy was like, oh, I read that it was illegal to like walk backwards and recite the alphabet or something in certain states of the US. Turns out I got that wrong, because I think it's one a false fact anyway, but two, also I got it wrong. It was in 2 different states, one where it's illegal to supposedly recite the alphabet after sunset, and the other one where it was illegal to walk backwards or something. How much I can't remember, it was something like that, and I conflated them. I mean, I said it during our planning meeting, being like, that's illegal, and everyone was like, what, is that true? And I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's true. We just used it as one of our performance, and it didn't occur to me until years later. I was like, wow, I just like spread misinformation like that. It was definitively, I'm pretty sure, not true. But I'm actually gonna look this up now, because I'm pretty sure I looked it up years later and it was like, oh, it's actually just straight up not even a thing. US, illegal to walk backwards after sunset? Is that it? In Connecticut. Weird Connecticut law still in place. You're not allowed to walk backwards at night. Wait. Man, she is technically. What? Dumb laws that never get enforced but still exist. Straight to jail. What was the other one? US? Illegal to recite alphabet after sunset? Is that it? Is it legal to recite the alphabet? No. Recite alphabet back. I swear it's like backwards. No, I don't know. So it was actually kind of close. There's so many urban myths going around school that time. Yeah, so true. So I guess it was kind of true, with Connecticut having this dumb law in place. But for some reason I put the alphabet in there for no apparent reason. So technically, because it's illegal to walk backwards after sunset in Connecticut, it is also technically illegal to recite the alphabet while walking backwards after sunset in a US state. I put a bit of sauce on it, you know? Yeah, I don't really have much else apart from that. That just sort of came to mind. I think there was other laws we had as well, where it was like, it's illegal to tie an alligator to a fire hydrant and illegal to tie a giraffe to a lamppost or something. I don't know what the motivation was about this assembly. Because you would have thought school would be like, oh yeah, rules are good things or whatever. Maybe it was meant to be an enlightened. I don't know if I want to use soft light or if I want to use add. We'll do soft light for now. Assembly, where it's like, oh, you know, there's still bad rules in place, and well, there's also good rules or whatever, which keep order. Something. You know, the moral of this lesson is XYZ. Let's have quite an orangey sort of sunset light, I think. And this is, I'm going to break a rare rule, which I often say not to do if you're starting out drawing, is I'm going to use the airbrush actually to do a lot of this shading. No, I thought about it and then I was like, no, I'm not. Because I like the brushy effect of, I'll just turn down the hardness on my watercolour brush. How do you even shade a plate anyway? Because I guess it curves upwards, so probably it would look like this. I guess I can use the airbrush for it. Something like that. What urban myths do we have around school time? I'm trying to think. Because I feel like ones that people always say tend to be things to do with like games and like Pokemon, that sort of thing. Being like, oh, my dad works at Nintendo, you know, if you do this in a Pokemon game, your XYZ will happen. But we weren't allowed to bring our Game Boys and stuff into school. And not many people actually had a Game Boy. Or any of those, like, consoles. Mind you, so... Yeah, those things never really percolated around our school. I'm trying to think what other urban myths there were. Schoolyard myths, as they say. Which tend to be very wild, wacky, and wonderful. I do remember one my sister always told me. I tell this story all the time, I think. But there's this brand of yogurts in England called Munch Bunch. And back when I was growing up, they had an advert where basically you would eat the Munch Bunch and you get turned into a fruit and you'd go to like this Munch Bunch land or something. I can't remember the exact details of it, but something like that. You'd be transported on a magical journey off to a completely different wild and wacky wonderful land. I remember my sister kept telling me about, oh yeah, that happened to me. I did it, you know, after eating Munch Bunch at school. And I was like, what? No way. And she was like, yeah, I can do it at any time I want. And me being the scientific little child I was, you know, tried it myself and I was like, no way, this doesn't make any sense. But what if? So I remember one time I stayed like late after lunch, and then when she was eating I was like, you don't go anywhere. And she was like, no, I just didn't want to go today. Okay, hold on. We planned a school trip to Berlin, and everyone had to present a part of a trip to the teachers and parents, which met before the trip. And I talked about the Berlin Wall Museum and closed with the words, there is a museum cafe where the teachers probably will drink a coffee, while the students walk through the museum. That's like the truest thing. I'm not a teacher, but that's so true. You're just saying it how it is. How do the teachers react to that? I hope the teachers were good sports, because I feel like if I was a teacher, I would find that hilarious, and I'd be like, yes, so true. I don't even drink coffee. I don't know if I want a hard shot on that one. Hashtag relatable. I can't blame the teachers for doing it as well, to be honest. It's absolutely exhausting. You know, looking after just a handful of kids. I think the teachers are amused, that's good. A comedian in the making. But it's absolutely exhausting looking after like a few kids. I can't imagine going on a school trip being like, there's 30 of them you need to watch or whatever. Depending on the size of your class, of course, but still. So I don't blame them for having a bit of a drink. God, at least it's coffee, to be honest. Not not anything worse. Presumably still keeping an eye. Now I'm just thinking of school trip stories. I'm going to call out one of my friends here. Very, very sweet as a kid. An absolute rascal as an adult. I remember he... one school trip we went to a place and we had like this tour guide with us. It was like elderly gentleman or something, and we were eating lunch and we were just like, oh, I wonder when we're going to go to the next area, you know, when we've done the next trip. So my friend was like, oh, I'm going to go ask him, and he just went up to an old man sitting at a bench and he was like, hey, when are we going to go like do the rest of the trip? And then the old man was just like, what? Turns out he just went up to some random old guy who was not at all our tour guide, and just asked him, hey, when are we going to do the rest of it? Cracks me up thinking about it. We were like 16 and older, so we got drunk and into a fight with the people on the train. What? Excuse me? Oh my gosh, poor teachers indeed, for one. 2, wow. Like... I mean, I'm so outraged, mainly because that was definitely never a thing I would ever think of even doing as a child. I was very much a good student in the way that I would not misbehave. I just did my work, and that was it. Oh, I can't imagine. It's like, my story feels so tame compared to yours. What's my story? Oh, you know, we just asked a random old guy. Well, not me. My friend asked a random old guy about what we were doing from a trip. And your story? We're 16, got drunk, and got in a fight with people on the train. You've got me outclassed here, man. You've got me completely outclassed. But yeah, I often think about the fact that I don't have many good stories. No, I don't have many like amusing of like kids getting up to trouble sort of stories, because I didn't really get into trouble much in first place. I didn't really want to be honest. I had no motivation for it, but not to say that I don't understand why kids would do things or be trouble, etc, etc. Yeah, I do remember actually one time we went to Switzerland, where we were like same sort of age, 16, 18 sort of age-ish. I think, was I 18? I might have been 18, I can't remember. But we went, it was a physics school trip. It's actually a very cool one. We went to see CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. But I remember that, like, the most controversial thing that happened is that the teachers were just like, oh yeah, obviously, you know, we know you're all adults and you know you might want to have fun. Please don't, we're on a school trip. If you want to have fun, do it in your own time, like come back to Switzerland or whatever. But then a group of like 3 or 4 of them still went out to like a nightclub that night. And I was just like, damn, what the heck? Would I like to have gone? I think, I mean, me at the time, obviously, no. Me at uni, probably, maybe. I'd be like, that sounds like a fun time. Me now? Yeah, why not? Because I'd just be like, oh man, that would be an interesting story. Anyway, they weren't caught, I don't think. But I remember hearing that, just being like, what? Why? Because I remember because I was doing university prep, I think, at that time. Like, well, we had like free time. Like, some of my friends went to go watch a movie. I can't remember what movie they watched. I think they watched Lupo or something. And then I remember I stayed in this other room with a lot of other nerdy people, and they were discussing like their made-up world or something. Because I think they were playing like some sort of tabletop RPG with it. And they were just like discussing things about it, and I was just like sitting on the top bunk because I was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna read Principia Mathematica, not Principia Mathematica. It's like I can't remember. It's like the iconic university sort of maths book, which every maths student reads. It's got like a blue cover. It's like an intro guide to mathematics or something. I can't remember, but you're meant to read it like before starting any uni course. Let me see. Introduction to Mathematics. Is that what it's called? I can't remember what it's called. University reading. Maybe it's like Introduction Principle of Mathematics. I feel like it had a word principle in there. Principle of Mathematics, maybe? Anyway, I was just sitting on the top bunk reading that book instead of, you know, doing anything particularly fun or interesting. I remember they were asking me questions about it as well. About our world. Because I was sort of like vaguely listening instead of actually, you know, concentrating on my book. Because I'm going to be honest, it's insane, by the way, to read a maths book and not actually do the problems from it. Soft light is not really working. Probably because everything is so bright already. Oh, this is a counter, that's why it's not working. Duh. Should probably still be linear light. I would love to have gone on a CERN school trip. Yes, it honestly was very, very cool. I learned a lot about it. I didn't end up taking physics. Well, I mean, I took it for an A level. I didn't take it for university level, I mean. But I still think that was one of the coolest trips I've been on. I should probably put a bit of a harsher light on this, but that's probably. Why am I using bright pale white? What am I doing? What? That's too yellow. That's too yellow. Yeah, genuinely, it was a really cool trip. I still very fondly remember it. Because I think it also might have been like the final school trip. I will zoom in. I had during the sixth form life. But yeah, it's every sort of like little scientist sort of nerdy student sort of dream, isn't it? Well, I'm not sure dream's the right word, but I think if you are someone who's interested in science, your initial reaction would be like, that is such a cool idea for a trip. And it is. Got to visit a nuclear power plant inside of all the parts in university. That is cool. I've never been inside a nuclear power plant. How does a shine on a clock go? Because like this, right? Yeah, okay, there we go. If it's got a glass painting. I was like, I can't think how it works. You're right, you just read the text just to read it? I did, because like, I brought it because I was like, it's required quote reading from a uni course. It wasn't actually required, it was just recommended reading. So I brought it on the school trip to be like, okay, let's actually start reading it. I still have it somewhere, to be honest. So I was just reading it conceptually, and I was like, oh, I should technically get like a piece of paper to start doing this work. But I was like, oh, what kind of person would I be if I went on a school holiday trip and then just started doing university introductory work or something on the trip? I was just like, the vibes of that are just so off. So instead, I just read it. While also really not reading it. And again, just more or less paying attention to whatever conversation was going on about their made-up fictional fantasy world. I wish I could tell you anything about their fantasy world, but I genuinely don't remember it. The only thing I remember from it is that one of them at one point asked me, they were like, hey, DeerDarling, wouldn't you want to be a dragon if you could be a dragon? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he was like, see? Anyway, I think he's a fairy, but still fairy now as well, so. And then you turned out to a deer, and then I turned out to be a deer. I do like dragons though. Dragons are pretty cool. But there was that really popular dragon series or literature back in secondary school. Oh, what was it called? I can't remember, but I remember one of my friends was reading it. And he knew like a lot about dragons from it. I didn't know anything about dragons. But yeah, I wonder if that friend read it as well. I say friend, I wasn't even like very close to the people who were talking about that sort of thing. Like, I was quite nerdy, and I was like, these people are too nerdy for me. I think we were discussing interview questions or something at one point. And I was just like, nah, this is like too much. I don't even want to do this. But I remember they asked me one of the questions, and they were like, oh, you know, what would you do, DeerDarling? And the question goes something like, what if you were shrunk down to the size of an ant and you were, no, maybe not an ant, to the size of like an orange or something, and you were put into a blender, how would you get out? And then my initial thing I said was like, I would climb the etchings of the side of a blender. But then I was like, I changed my answer, and I was like, I'm pretty sure because I'm so small, if I keep my muscular density or whatever, I could just jump out. Because, you know, just like how tiny insects or whatever can jump like multiple times their height with their small mechanisms, if they had human muscles in them, probably be even higher. And then they spent the entire rest of that like day researching like, would that be possible? And I remember they came up to me at the end of the day and being like, oh yeah, DeerDarling, you're right, we think that would be possible. And I was like, oh cool. What income would you expect working as a dragon in our company? Oh, just about, you know, a treasures hoard every month or so. I remember a couple of trips to high school made just listen to that. That's fair, that's what we're here for, sharing our trips. No. Oh, it's not you are an orange. You get shrunk. You as a human being get shrunk down to the size of like a small orange, like a satsuma. I can't remember what else he said. But yeah, I don't know. I just remember being like, man, this is too much for me. I went to go talk about games or something with my friends instead. You know, the cool kind of type of nerdy stuff. I said sarcastically. What is going on over here? Okay, window frame. Yes, let's shade a window frame. Jump up from the blades to the lid? Yeah, that'd probably work. I'll be real with you. I don't think I've heard anyone ever be asked that interview questions. So. I mean, maybe they were, to be fair, but all my interview questions for university were all just like, well, they were actually just like mathematical problems, unsurprisingly. Here, solve this maths question. I was like, okay, fair enough. Okay, let's start doing this. Probably get rid of his shadows here, so we can have quite a bright light emanating outwards. And I think I'll do a soft glow over everything as well. I need to make sure to do that. I like a story about a woman in Switzerland was suing CERN not to start operating because they were concerned there was a black hole that would open. You know? Is there a non-zero chance? I'm joking. Who was asking that, by the way? It was a theoretical interview training question that a different group of the other nerdy group in the year asked me at some point. I don't remember how we even got to that, like, lead up, but that's what I remember. And is theoretically meant to be a potential interview question you could get. But I was just saying that, like, I don't think I heard anyone ever get that interview question. What on earth? What is happening here? What is happening here? Why is it not locking? Oh, I'm dumb. No one saw that. If you don't know what happened, then stay ignorant. Ignorant is bliss. It's fun, yeah, but no one else. Yeah. I mean, these sort of like brain teaser style interview questions, I think they probably only work the first few times that interviewers even ask them. And then every other time you ask them, people just like have already looked them up on the internet, so already know about them. Nor are they honestly all that indicative of, well, anything really. It's sort of just more to test how good you are at like riddles and brain teasers, which, you know, to an extent can sort of reflect upon how good you might be at critical thinking, but in my experience, certainly not always the case. Saying that, I do love riddles. Both types of riddles, because there's two common types of riddles. There's like a logical puzzle sort of riddle, which are definitely ones I prefer, but there's only so many of them. And then there's the like what am I sort of riddles, which are also quite fun in a different way. Because the what am I sort of riddles I think are like easy to sort of very accessible to everyone, but the logical puzzle riddles, and you know, only a select group of people would actually want to interface with it. But the thing is, when you like riddles, you spend so much time looking up riddles that you actually end up hearing basically all the riddles. So there's not many riddles which I don't know anymore. How would the shadows work? The shadows would not work like that. I think that would be on the can stop. Okay. Are those questions just so that they can judge your personality? I suppose so now, but I feel like there's easier ways to judge personality, which should come out from the rest of the questions. Some of them like can be like they judge the way you're thinking, but I think the ones which do that tend to be better as abstract questions rather than ones with definitive answers. To be fair, the Blender one I suppose is quite abstract. So the more riddles, the less riddles. It's so true. It's the inherent paradox of liking something, or liking anything really, is that the more you engage with it, the less of it you'll have. Especially because riddles are sort of once you know the answer, you can't get any more. You don't really get more out of it because you know the answer. And it really is a shame. I also don't know why I don't have a palette layer for some reason. Because I probably should, so I don't lose this. Is that right? Dark shadow? Dark shadow. What riddles do I know off the top of my head, which I like? I do like the one with the dragon and the poison pools. I think that's quite a cool one, which I can recount to you now if I remember it. How does it go? It's something along the lines of, you know, you are a knight and you're trying to defeat the dragon for some specified reason, which I can't remember. And you go up to a dragon, but you know you can never beat him in fisticuffs in normal combat. So you go up to him and you make this sort of proposition. Or no, he makes a proposition to you that in this land there will be 7 magical pools, each poisonous, and with increasing intensity of poison from 1 to 7. And if anyone drinks on one of these pools, any level of intensity of poison, and doesn't do anything about it for like an hour or so, they will die. But the way you can counteract the poison is that these poisons are sort of like self-annihilating, that you can drink a stronger poison and it will work as an antidote for a weaker poison and not poison you. So if you drank like a level 1 pool poison, if you within the hour drink the level 2 poison, you will not get poisoned at all. There will be no negative effects. And then, you know, knowing this, you'd be like, okay, I accept this challenge, dragon. But then the dragon's very evil. What he does is he guards the level 7 poison pool the entire time. And the duel goes, I forgot to say this, is that you'll both meet up tomorrow at like noon or something and give each other a cup or whatever poison you so wish to desire. You wish the other to drink, and then you both had to drink it. And then the thing is, the dragon guards the 7 poison pool the entire time, and thus the conundrum becomes, what can you do for the duel? And obviously you can't do the most obvious thing, because any poison you give him, the dragon will just drink from the 7 pool immediately after the duel and be cured. And you know for sure that the dragon is going to give you the level 7 poison, because there's nothing you can do about it. There is no stronger poison pool. You drink it, you'll die. So it's like, what can you do? And then it's got a very nice solution, which I guess I'll spoil in like 5 seconds. If you don't want the solution, then I guess mute me for like the next 2 minutes. But the solution is, you go up to the duel having already pre-drunk a cup from the level 1 poison pool, and you give the dragon a placebo, a poison which looks like the poison water but isn't actually poisoned. So then, when it comes to the duel time, the dragon will give you, as predicted, the level 7 poison, and it counteracts the level 1 poison you drank. Thus, you are cured. The dragon will immediately go to the level 7 pool and drink from the level 7 poison pool to try and be the antidote for the poison you gave him, but you didn't give him a poison. So then he drinks it, there is no cure, he dies within an hour, and woo, the day is saved. And I'm like, wow, bravo. What a wonderful solution. Very neat, very tidy, clean. And yeah, that's one of my favourite puzzles, because I feel like it's much more approachable for the average Joe to actually interface with. But you still die. You don't die, because if you drink 2 poisons, you don't die if you manage to get one to counteract the other. So that's the beauty of it. You live, the dragon dies. I don't know, what other nice riddles do I know? That one's quite a long one though, so it's like hard to, because the nicest riddle I think also has like the shortest setup. You know, the thing like the 3 light bulbs and the 3 switches one. Which, if you don't know, it's basically you're in a room with 3 light switches, and the other room sounds like you said you do. You die if you drink 1 poison and you don't drink another one to cure it, essentially. I didn't really think through as I was saying how I was explaining it, so I apologise if the explanation was confusing. We don't need a palette of light, we only need a palette of shadows, really. Okay. Any poison counters any poison. Only a higher level poison will work as an antidote for a lower level poison. You also have a pool of water. I mean, I guess it's kind of assumed that you can just get water at some point. I guess it kind of gives it away if you explicitly be like, oh, you also have a pool of water. I guess you could do it like you have a level 0 pool, which just contains water. But I think that gives away the crux of a riddle too much. But what other riddles do I like? Yeah, the free light bulbs, free switches one. That's a very nice one. If you don't know, it's your free light bulbs and no, you're in a room with free switches. Once you leave a room, you can't enter it again, and you know in the next room there are free light bulbs connected to these free switches, but you don't know in what order. And then the question basically becomes, how can you determine which switch operates which light bulb? And this one's used all the time everywhere. I feel like it's like a classic riddle at this point. And the solution, if you don't want to know it, I guess, again, mute me, but the solution being that you turn 2 of the switches on and you wait 10 minutes or so. And then you turn 1 of the switches off and you immediately go to the other room. Whichever's the one you left on is the one that's on, and then whichever one is off and cold is the one you never touched, and one which is off and hot is the one you have touched. And it's like, oh, that's quite nice, like simple solution as well, isn't it? Actually, shading this part was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. What was I complaining about? Delicious. But there's going to be a point in the future, I suppose, where that riddle doesn't work anymore, because it kind of relies on the fact that filament light bulbs heat up quite a lot when you turn them on. But if LED light bulbs become like a commonplace thing, they basically have very, very little residual heat. And if they get even more efficient in the future, that riddle's not going to work anymore. Isn't that a shame? You might be like, no, not really. And I'm like, fair. I think it's a little bit of a shame, though. It's such an iconically classic riddle, though. It'd be a shame that... Well, I mean, a good thing, I suppose, that it no longer works, because it means it's being replaced by... Oh, okay, no. Shading a part like this is going to take forever. Because it's being replaced by... It means that light bulbs have been replaced by much more efficient versions of them. Cells are now commonplace enough. So it works, but still... I mean, there's probably lots of jokes and riddles which have been lost to time because of the way technology or whatever has evolved. I'm sure. Not that I could tell you any off the top of my head, but... Anyways, I don't understand about... Yeah. Maybe you can find riddles from medieval times which contexts we would not understand anymore. Actually, there is a thing. There's like a very famous joke or something which is from... I can't remember what period. My mind said it was from the Aztec period, but I don't even know if that's remotely true. But there was like a joke which has a punchline. It's something about like a dog walking into a bar, I think. And the punchline makes no sense with modern sensibilities. But it was clearly written as a joke back in the day. And we, in modern history, have not been able to figure out what or why there is a significance of a punchline. Which is fascinating, in my opinion, to think about. It's like a very classic thing with historians, the struggle of historians. Any historians out there? Of when it goes down in text, where it's just like, I'm about to describe what this thing does. Stop, say no more, brother. This thing is so obvious. Everyone knows what it does. Modern day historians are just like, tell me what it does. What do you do? Times do a change. Times are a changing all the time. Oh, it actually kind of looks better with a double shadow. Maybe I'll keep that double shadow. Doesn't it just look more golden? I might just get rid of this part, to be honest. I don't think it looks very good. Yeah, let's just keep it like that. Let's not overcomplicate things. You know what I might do as well? I might even put a little bit of a shadow. And no, a layer mask on to get rid of... Ouch. These parts of a pie. So it feels a bit more textured, you know. It's got a bit more of an up and down towards it. That's a good looking pie. I wonder if Shakespeare was easier to understand back then, but it was still hard to fully understand. Shakespeare just be out there making up words and stuff, right? So oh, it's raining. To be fair, we're making up words all the time, so I don't know why I'm casting shade at Shakespeare for doing it. Just because he was the OG to do it. Well, not really the OG. So someone has to make up the original words of existence, so... yeah. What's everyone's favourite jokes? My favourite joke, I will not say it because it's not as appropriate, I think, for a stream. But it's about a penguin and eating ice cream. But my second favourite joke, a very simple one, is why are there no painkillers in the rainforest? I'll leave you to chew on that for a little bit of a sec. Because we're paracetamol. Influential figure. Takes a while to chew on. Very true. I don't really know much about Shakespeare, to be honest, apart from like what little amounts we covered while in secondary school English literature class. Cherry. Oh, cherry, I see. Wait, did I do it that way round? I put the cherry on top of a pie? Why? Why would I do that? It's so strange. I mean, it worked out in this case, but well, why would I do that? Past me was crazy. It was whoa, that's a very bright light. Oh, it's because I'm using the linear light, okay. Golden crust. Golden. I might also want to clean up some of these shadows, to be honest. Might just lay downwards. Golden. Good. Just what other riddles can I think of? Any sort of like nice, compact ones. There's a very fascinating mathematical one, which is not really much of a riddle, to be honest, but there's, I can't remember, one of the science maths YouTubers made a good video on it, which I think covers it well. But the general concept is that you and 100 people are like locked in a prison, but you're given one chance to escape. And the chance is each of you will be given a number from 1 to 100. And then taken one by one into a room filled with 100 boxes, labelled 1 to 100. And then it was like, the concept of riddle is you can plan and strategize and do whatever you want, but once you start the process, there is no communication between you. What strategies can you come up with to be able to escape or give you the best chance of survival? And then there's like the follow-up question where if at the end you had a spy who could go inside and switch around. Oh wait, I forgot to say the actual premise. Inside each of the boxes is a piece of paper with a number, and what you have to do is you go into the room with boxes. You can open 50 boxes, and you succeed if you find your number, but you fail if any of you fail to find your number. So obviously, at first glance you're like, that's what, 50% chance 100 times. Infinitesimally small that you all escape. But what is the chance that can you come up with a strategy which will help you escape? And there is actually a very nice strategy, which explained more by Veritasium, but the general idea being that the strategy you end up taking basically forces you all to win together or all of you to lose together, which is why it ends up working. So it's very, very, very cool. That's one of my favourite mathematical ones. Oh yeah, and then I was going to say that you can have a follow-up question as well, being like, if you have a spy on the inside, you can swap any two of the numbers, the contents of any two boxes. How can you use that to now guarantee your escape? it's an insanely difficult one to logic out. Like that's not something you just ask like on a school trip or something to people, because the actual way to get a solution requires a lot of maths to even prove it in the first place. But yeah, it's basically the tactic you end up using. Oh wait, hold on, what am I doing? The tactic you end up using forces the group to fail together or to win together. And what you end up doing is you walk into the room, you open your box, whatever number's in there, you open that box's number. Repeat. And that basically makes up these long chains where if you fail to find your number, it means everyone that you saw in that chain, everyone who's a part of that chain, will also fail to find their number. But if you find your number, it means everyone in that chain is guaranteed to find their number. So it's sort of like a you all win together, you all lose together sort of situation, which is very, very cool. Here I am spreading the gospel of maths. But yeah, like no one's gonna come up with that solution just like off the top of their head, because that's like so obtuse to think of. It's not that intuitive either, but it's fascinating all the same, in my opinion. I thought these were in-class practices. Where did you get these from? I mean, like, it's just things I like read about, to be honest. But these weren't in-class practices. These are just random riddles. Proud friendship proven by math. So true. And people hate maths when we're out here proving if we all work together, we have a 37% chance of survival compared to an infinitesimally small chance. I'm not sure how. I think we can keep a lot of a shadow here, to be honest. Let's just do like sort of rim lighting style shadows here. Posted a joke. Someone's on two things I never seen. A guy named Bigfoot and a girl I need. I mean, it does sound like a rap lyric. Oh no, I'll give it that much. Whatever it was doing here. I feel like the classic one is definitely the. I forgot about this classic one. This is probably even more classic than the light bulb one, but the three blue, one brown riddle, which is kind of like you can follow through, I think, without mathematical knowledge, because it's not really. I mean, it is maths, but it's like based off logic, I guess. And the general premise being that you're on an island with like 100 people, all of you with either brown eyes or blue eyes, and you can only leave. The only way you can leave the island is if you go up to the person who works the boat and correctly state the colour of your eyes. And then the rest of the riddle is saying basically that you can't ever look at your own eyes and you can't communicate with anyone else about the colour of your eyes until a random visitor comes one day, you know, has a great time, and then just at the end goes, oh, you know, at least one of you has blue eyes. And then the question basically becomes like, when does everyone leave? And the answer is everyone, the number of people who have blue eyes leave on that numbered day. Sorry, I forgot to say that you can only it's like you can only have one chance every day to leave or something, and state this correctly. I don't remember the exact premise. I apologise. You had to look it up properly yourself, but you already know my eye colour. Well, I guess you'd be leaving on the first day then. Unless you had neither brown nor blue eyes, in which case you're probably trapped there forever, because you, in this puzzle, could never logically deduce your own eye colour. Yeah, but I forgot to say that, like, once per day, you can try and guess your eye colour to leave. But everyone is like a perfect logician, they won't do it until they guaranteed know their eye colour. But yeah, all the people with, like, blue eyes leave on the same day. That day number being the number of people blue eyes are, and then everyone with brown eyes leaves on the next day. Brown, luckily. Ooh, safe. Black eyes could cheat and say without brown. I have that brown. Theoretically, black eyes. I mean, technically there are no black eye. Well, I mean, without, I suppose, like a genetical defect or something. There are no black eyes. Just dark brown look like black in most circumstances. So my eyes look like voids most of the time, unless you shine a flashlight into my eyes, and then it looks dark brown. Which is always fun. I also don't think the shading I've done here makes sense. I feel like it should be like this. It should probably be a bit softer when I've done it. I think yeah, shading makes sense. If it doesn't make 100% sense, I think if it looks nicer, we do it. But yeah, the free blue, 1 brown, or whatever puzzle, it's very, very cool. Because it's something you could logically work out if you, like, take it down to the base steps. Like, imagine if it was just you, one person on that island, that person came on, was like, one of you has blue eyes. You would immediately, first day, just be like, oh yeah, I must be the person with blue eyes, and you guess on the first day, and then you leave correctly. But if there were 2 of you, you can see the other person's eyes. And if they had brown eyes, then you'd be like, oh, I'm the one with blue eyes, so you would leave on the first day. And if you had brown eyes and they had blue eyes, and you saw that they left on the first day, you would leave on the second day, because you were like, oh, I must have brown eyes. But if you both had blue eyes, then you would look at each other, and on the first day no one would leave, and then you would see they're still there, and they would be like, oh, the only reason they didn't leave is because they must see that I have blue eyes, not brown eyes. So then you both leave together on the second day. And it's like, whoa, crazy, huh? Switching to colour. Wow, good memory. Yeah, switching to colour theory now. You said your hair looks purplish with the right lighting. Yes, it kind of does, because, well, theoretically my hair is black, but it's not quite true black. Which is, I think, a bit of a rarity for my ethnicity. But, I don't know, that was just more spawned from a conversation that I had in university one time, where my friend was like, your hair looks purple. And I was like, what? And it was like under this, I can't remember, maybe it was like very yellow lighting or something. My hair did look kind of purple. Like a very dark purple, mind you, not like actually purple. Like, not like a royal purple or anything like that. Which is very fascinating. Okay, drag this up here. Do I need to shade each of these individual pearls? No. Am I going to? Yes. Oh, yeah, the shading directionally probably doesn't make much sense now I think about it if I do it like this. Oh well. The C button is not working consistently. That is going on. Get these dark shadows and these frills. How much time have I spent? About an hour, okay. So it looks like it would just be a drawing stream, to be honest, but that is a-okay. Needed to be any more. I'm trying to think, how would the eyelids work like this? It would look like this. It's a very, very faint dark shadow underneath. This corner as well. A darker shadow reaching over everything. Almost looks a bit sinister if I do it like this. Which I'm kind of digging, to be honest. So only one person can tell others their eye colour, because if it's two, you win right there. Oh, it's not so much about winning, losing. It's just about leaving the island, right? It's all about being able to correctly identify your eye colour. It was I think I understand your question now. It was just someone who doesn't actually belong on the island, outside the original 100, who was visiting, said it. But the concept of the island is very conceited, to be honest. It doesn't make much sense, so I wouldn't think too much about it. It exists only to necessitate the conditions for the puzzle to work. That's its entire premise. Which perhaps is frustrating, I suppose, depending on how you see things. You might be like, then it's so unrealistic. What's the point of it? But I think there's a very interesting discussion to be had from these vague concepts. Let's lock in. Let's get the shading down. I basically just did a load of shading this month. Drawing this month instead of playing much games on the streams, which happens. I mean, end of the year is going to be busy, isn't it? December, I can't imagine. Like so many of the streams, I think I'll probably end up being cancelled, but we'll see how it goes. Certainly do my best to at least get the thumbnail out, because I think that's a fun part. It's basically done though, isn't it? Line art. Let's put some coloration on line art. We're gonna have a really awkward time though if we do Button City though. Oh, maybe a bit darker. Maybe a bit more red as well. I can bring up other things you talked about. It's not flex to remember, dear darling. Thanks. That's fair. Whenever someone says remember, sometimes the back of my mind goes, I remember referencing that live musical thing you sang one time, if you know what I'm talking about. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about off-book musical. With what? Not Jess Ross. What's her name? Jess McKenna and what's his name? Alex or something? No, it's not Alex. I can't remember. But off-book musical, and they sang it about a mock trial. And then the song was called I Remember Atticus Finch. I'm gonna like and have a pleasant next week, dear darling, in chat. You too, Nunword. I hope you enjoy the snow. Unless you don't enjoy it, then don't. It was a random Happy in Paradise. That one, anytime I see word remember, I do it. And I don't know if you've watched the Stray Let's Play part. There's an interactive button where you click remember to like remember memories as one of the collectibles, and I sing it every single time it comes up. I remember Atticus Finch. Oh, I didn't do any highlights. Yeah, that one is like permanently in my head as well. But even that's fair. It'd be even more stuck into your subconscious now if you watched it, which is probably not a good thing. No, I forgot. Where's my ruler? I could be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee. I remember Atticus Finch. What if I should do a hard I also think the shading looks a bit weird. Maybe we need to blend this in a bit more, that's why. Like, it looks a bit scary almost, I would say. Well, that's maybe because we need to soften this just ever so slightly. Same way I might do for makeup. Oh, blending doesn't mirror. Interesting. It's really not, but I love these quotes. Check out the OG song, almost like you're singing better. Oh, thank you. I'm not nearly as talented as they are. But I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. A vocal stim when you quote random songs. Yeah, my friend told me it was like echolalia. It's like the technical term for it. But also could be a vocal stim. I think I don't know if I really use it as the same way as someone might use a stim, to be honest though. Again, I don't really know what stimming is like because I don't, but it's more about like when I run what's it called? Stream of consciousness, which is what I do for a lot of videos because otherwise I would just sit here in silence. That's what just sort of comes to mind. Because it's literally just like, it's almost like an intrusive thought, I guess. Well, it's not really like an intrusive thought. It's just more like, oh, that was the first thing I thought of. Recollect that memory. The Proust effect, as in the stream title. Although, technically Proust effect is meant to be like sense or something, but whatever. Or Proust effect, I don't actually know how you say it. I just think it's fun to quote things, to be honest. Some things are very iconic lines, and it's fun to remember them. Especially Hearthstone ones. Those are a lot of fun. Okay, let's do whitish outline. Like, what's some favourite Hearthstone quotes? Iconic ones. Obviously, Taz Dingle. That's a good one. Why is it so strangely coloured? Oh, there we go. I also really like one from a later expansion. Where, I think it's like Captain Eudora or whatever. My sidearm. Wait, my hand's fully loaded. Just like my sidearm. What else? I can't even think of any at the moment. I want you and you and you. Soften this power. I just can't think of any more at the moment. But they are fun. I feel icky. That's a good one. There's a lot from you specifically and an Angel Dust impersonator. 2 persons asked about neurodivergency. I assume so we can leave out that. Well, you can ask, and I mean, I don't mind. I'm not. If you're asking about if I am neurodivergent, at least I don't believe I am. I have had this conversation before with neurodivergent people, to be fair, though. Although I understand why you might ask, but there definitely is some overlap. But also bear in mind that how I it's not normally how I act. Not normally how I am, I suppose, in streams and stuff. A very different person. But more power to you if you are neurodivergent, you know. I have nothing against that. And I will join you in doing echolalia stuff. If you ever need someone like that. Or if you need some, oh no, I shouldn't have done it on that layer. Nah, whatever. It said I don't want it to be green in a funny way and kept running it back. I don't remember this one. I don't want it to be green. I can imagine myself, like, if I were to say this, like if I'm trying to voice act myself, I don't want it to be green. I can imagine myself saying that. I have no recollection of doing it, mind you. So I apologise. That's pretty cute. Close. No, I mean there's like yeah, obviously I'm not an expert in neurodivergency. Normally here I would call upon my friend, but they're not watching right now, so you're certainly a lot more well versed about it than me. Yes, then you picked a colourful night to Animal Crossing. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, generally no recollection, but that sounds like me. I can imagine it. But yes, like with many things. No, was it a DSM checklist or something? There's like I don't actually know how neurodivergency works in that one, but there's like I assume it's meant to be like whether multiple different, if you've met one neurodivergent person, you've met one neurodivergent person, as they say. Oh god, that's way too strong on orange. But there are like common, I was gonna say tropes. Tropes is not the right word. Actually, let's not have it orange because I don't want the oven to be on. But there's like common. I guess we'll sort of just chat for this last bit. We have half an hour, which is not really enough time to do Button City. Oh, I should blur the background. That is true. No one said anything, but I was just thinking it. Oh, we should do colour melding as well. I forgot about that. But as I understand neurodivergency, there's like a load of very common traits, I suppose, which carry over between. Again, everyone can be quite different. My personal experience of them, at least, again, I'm not an expert, so please don't take what I say as any sort of factual words. Is that not particularly many of them resonate with me. Some of them do. But like there's things with difficulty understanding like social cues and situations, which I don't think really applies to me, but what else is there? There's like hyper focusing, right? Is that what it's called? No, specific interests, that's the word, right? Which I don't have. I don't think. I don't know what it would be in. You might be like Animal Crossing. It's not really. Animal Crossing is just kind of there because it's a chill, fun game. Gosh, I'm trying to imagine what my friend told me now. They sent me a link of like all the. It was like a Venn diagram of like a load of different bubbles or something. Well, Venn diagram's not the right word because I guess there wouldn't be the overlaps, but there's like a load of different things on it. God, was it desire for order? I win. If only they were. I think they might be asleep right now. So, if only they were here. Sorry. Why is this one just called A? I don't know what this is. Oh, I should blur the foreground as well, probably. Maybe not as much as the background, but still. Whoa, not that. That's a wrong button. Anyway, I can't recall. But echolalia, I suppose. On there. That's definitely something I do. I do like repeating phrases. Mainly because they're just memorable. Actually, what if we just blur this like an insane amount? Because of like depth of field or something, right? Doesn't quite blur the way I wanted to though. Or probably because we already have a foreground layer turned on. Is that like a depth of field blur? Not really. That kind of works. If anything, I think I want to blur the pie. More than I want to blur the other things. Strong blur. Excuse me? Why 0? kind of works as like a depth of field. 1848 Serrano vid if you're interested. It's kind of gives me like Northern Line vibes, you know, whereas some people would just be like, when was this moment when Northern Line said this quote? And then some people would just like give the exact timestamp and video. Cool, it's allowed and it's safe. Where some people would just give like the exact timestamp and video of where he said XYZ. It just makes me go, what? How did you know that? Obviously in this case you looked it up, right? So it's not as insane. Not to discredit that or anything. Northern Line's my special interest. I mean, he's my entertainment. I would say that the special interest, as I understand, is you have more. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like you have a hyper focus on it, and you have a more in-depth knowledge about it, or something, right? Which I can't really say. Oh, I haven't done gradient maps. I can't really say I have Northern Line outside of just sort of watching him. But maybe, you know. Who knows? Life could be anything. And I'm trying to picture, because my friend has like a special interest in animal training, as I understand it. And they know a lot about animal training. And I'm like, I don't even, like, maybe maths I know that much about, but not even that much. Like, I would definitely would not say I'm that interested in maths in that sense. Oh wait, hold on, I was doing gradient map, that's what I was doing. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not really an expert in these sort of things. So perhaps I shouldn't be commenting on it in the first place. Which colour do I want to go for? This sort of burnt umber with this more sepia tone. That's not sepia. This one? I'm going to go with this one. Not fully, of course. But I actually think I'll have it a bit heavier than other ones to give it a bit more of a nostalgic feeling. I almost want like rays of light to come out as well. I'm glad to re-educate myself. Oh, don't lock onto that. Wait, hold on. There's a ruler, which is like radial ruler, isn't there? Special ruler, yes. Radial, there we go. Because now I can do this sort of array like this. Alright, so I won't be on it here, but I know autism is a spectrum and not the only neurodivergent you can be. Yeah, it is a. That is why it's called a spectrum after all, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, I won't try and speak as an expert because I'm not. Maybe one of the future streams, my friend will be here, and they'll be able to dispel any notions. Dispel my own ignorance. But anyway. There you go. She looks positively angelic in this. Probably just get rid of the oven rays a little bit. Because I don't want it bleeding out too much. Probably turn off the opacity on that. Wonderful. Look at that. Pop that text back on. Maybe change this text back to the sort of yellowy colour I had before. That's a gross yellow colour, what? I don't know what would stick out the most. Yellow? Red? I don't know why I'm zooming out. I've got a thumbnail in the top left. I keep forgetting about that. I think I like a yellow one a bit better. I think orange gets a bit too lost, so. There we go. I think we're done. One more thing I talked about is colour organisation based off a random system. Maybe that's a trait of it. I thought that was like a synesthesia thing. I don't have well, maybe I do have synesthesia, but like I know there's like numbers synesthesia and things like that where you see numbers in certain colours, which I do. But I don't know. I'll take your word for it. Beautiful. Look at that. Evocations of nostalgic memories I do not have. No, it might be a type. Okay, you're not fair enough. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to remember if there was like this. Was it like checklist or quiz thing? I did at one point. Which I know, again, online quizzes are not meant to be indicative. Or should not be necessarily taken as a true reflection of your understanding. I understand that enough. How complicated psychology of mind can be. Thought you'd have to actually see the colour, not just imagine if it's synesthesia. Honestly, I don't know that much about synesthesia. I understand synesthesia as just being a mix of senses mixing together, but I don't know. How about that may entail's not the right word. What is the word I want? I also just closed the Twitch dashboard, so I can't even see it anymore. Manifest, that's what I want. Because I don't know. But what I do know is we have 20 minutes-ish left. Of which, I think we'll just do, I don't know, like daily quizzes sort of thing. Rather than open up Button City for like 15 minutes and then not do anything with it. So let me just get the streaming games open. Sporkle, we're not going to do Sporkle though. We're going to do... Wait, can you see this? You can see this. Hold on. Bring up that title screen. Play that jazz. Connections, because I do like that one. What other ones? I like doing Game Duel. And guess the game. Just get all of these open. What other good sort of daily puzzle things are there? Bandle's good. I'm very bad at Bandle though because I don't know the songs. I don't know. I'll think about them when we come to it. Let's start with these three then. Because who doesn't love a bit of Connections? Similar to Only Connect. A great British show. Thought it was All About Jazz. I don't remember what I said. If I didn't say All About Jazz, I probably meant to. Or I was doing a parody of it, which I often do. Yes, okay. So, if you don't know what we're doing here, we're trying to make up 4 groups of 4 and the groups all have a similar theme or something in between them. Now it can be both by definition, or it can be by meaning, or literal linguistic writing. Play that jazz? Fair enough. If I was a parody, I'm not sure what it was a parody of. Stream of consciousness, it's a wonderful thing. I'm seeing person, place, thing. But I don't know what the other one would be. Reel, highlight reel, thing, jungle, heave, reel, lurch? It's not really how I would use lurch. Oh, hold on. Pitch, idea. Real thing? That doesn't really make sense. Blonde. Tray. Lunch. Tray. Lunch place. Lunch house? Ambient noise. Ambient noise. Trance noise. Pitch. True. Wait. Am I just bad or is this difficult? Thing. House. Person. Probably place, person, thing is one of them. But that sounds like a 20 questions sort of thing. Jungle. Tree. Oh, cats. Wait, house cat, jungle cat. Is a tree cat a thing? I don't know what the other cat would be though. Blonde cat? Place cat, person cat, heave cat, idea cat, pitch cat, tray cat, real cat, lurch cat, trance cat, tree cat, no. Wednesday. Heave. Why am I so bad at this? Okay, if it is place, person, thing, what would the other one be? Idea? What a noun might be. Okay, fair enough. It was not 20 questions specifically, it was just about nouns. Heave. It must be heave, lurch. It's like big movement, right? Or heavy movement, but I don't know what the other would be. House noise, ambient noise. Oh, house trance. Wait, hold on. Isn't there like genres of music in here somewhere? Ambient jungle? Is jungle noise a thing? I don't know. Let's see. Electronic dance music. Okay, EDM. Right. Pitch, blonde, lurch, real. Okay, so if it's heave and lurch, what would it ever be? Pitch, real. I mean, pitch and real. So like you're pitching something. But then idea would be there. So I think that was a red herring. Tree. Wednesday. Tray. What would Wednesday be? Blonde. Blonde without an E specifically. Tray. Tray table. Tray top. Real top. Lurch. Okay, lurch, heave. Real. Pitch. Maybe that's a thing. Careen. I like pitch roll. Okay. that one I'm like, that doesn't feel like a strong connection to me, but words after ash. Ash blonde. Ash tray. Ash tree. Ash Wednesday. That's a difficult one. Ash blonde is not something I would think of. Ash Wednesday. Ash tray. Ash tree. Fair enough. Game door though. Here we go. Guess a game by its cover. What is this? I don't know. Is this a Bayonetta? I don't think it is. What is that? Who is that? Oh, I think this must be a game I don't know. Because I have no idea who that even is. Maybe this is a Yakuza game. Those are pretty insane. I mean, this does look like an undead person. I should probably be guessing horror games. Horror games on the Switch. I can't even figure out what is going on here. This is someone's hand? Cassette. This is... What? Alan Wake. This is... Who is that? It's Gobelino the Witch's Cat. This is... Cassette Beasts. No. This is... What's that other, like, investigative one about... Where it's like a reporter or journalist going around collecting tapes? I thought it was Alan Wake, but it's not Alan Wake. Shooter. On a lot of platforms. It's like some horror version of Professor Layton. This is... I feel like these are meant to be very iconic enemies you fight in this game. but I don't know it, so I'm gonna guess Silent Hill, and we'll just move on. Who is that? Skullduggery Pleasant. I think I just don't know what this game is. Ound. What? If found? Oh, In Sound Mind. It must be that one. I've never heard of this game. I've never even heard of this game. In Sound Mind? This must be a new game. Or not. 2021. Well, somewhat newish. That's a hard one. This one, I don't immediately recognise. It looks a bit older. I'm going to say that is... I don't even know what I'm looking at here. It's like a fragment of rock with fur on it or something. I'm going to say this is a Banjo Kazooie. Banjo Tooie. No, okay. What are these? Are those flowers? This is a Psychonauts. It's really not giving me a lot. Puzzle platformer. It's Braid. It looks nothing like Braid. Who's this guy? Indie puzzle platformer. It's... I've got no clue. What's that? It's guitar. It's Piku Niku. It looks nothing like Piku Niku. What are you saying? I need more. What is this? It's Gary's mod. It kind of looks like a logo for it, does it? There's no way it's Gary's mod. And yet it moves. I've never even heard of this game. Or maybe I have heard of this game. 2009? I don't know though. Biomes Mutation Parrying. Parrying? I'm not doing well here. This sounds like a Risk of Rain. Prisoner, roguelike, permadeath. It's Streets of Rogue. It's got nothing to do with biomes. Metroidvania, teleportation, action platformer. It's a roguelike. With biomes. Roguelike with biomes. And mutations. With parrying? It's a Dead Cells. Oh! Okay, she got one. That's a brilliant part. Okay, Dead Cells. That'll be our lead off because we actually got it. Fantasy. Single player. Okay, later than 2017. Let's say it's Yakuza 0. That's a pretty different game. That's 2015? What was a modern Yakuza game? Well, it's third person. That's good. Let's say it's what's that game called? Oh, it's Just Fantasy as well. I didn't even realise. Third person, single player, Just Fantasy. Dragon's Dogma. No, Dragon Age. Veilguard? Okay. What's this? RPG or strategy? It's 2024, so it's very recent. Oh, what? Oh, published by Sega, probably. Published by Sega? This year? It's gonna be difficult. I think I'm gonna have to get the genre. It's probably RPG. On a huge range of different platforms. What other sort of like RPGs are there? Fantasy RPGs that were released this year? That's quite difficult. Apart from Dragon Age is the only one I can think of. What RPGs even released this year? I can't even think of any. Wasn't there a new Persona game this year? Persona 6 or something? that Persona 6? Persona Q? Not Nintendo DS. Definitely RPG. Not just RPG though. Okay. I don't know which of these it could be. Not a Nintendo DS though. Not a handheld game. It is... Do we even have Adventure? We don't even have Adventure here, do we? RPG. Probably Adventure as well, since there's adventures in all three of these. Actually, it has to be one of these other... either indie, platform, or adventure. Probably not indie, if it's published by Sega and... I don't even know what's... Oh, it's published by Sega still. If Persona 6 came out, I wouldn't know. What, isn't there like a Persona game which took after like, I swear I watched oh, maybe it wasn't Persona, now I think about it. I swear I watched a game design video, which was kind of like, which talking about how they were one-upping the Persona art style or something. Because wait, hold on, which is the Persona which has a really sort of bombastic, like, ransom note sort of menus? Is that Persona 4 or Persona 5? Because I thought the one that followed up from that is they took like a very traditional like Renaissance era sort of aesthetic to it. Might be a spin-off. Oh, that's true. That's fair. I'll have to check it out again. Anyway, I don't know what game this could be. Persona 5 Royale? Fair enough. I don't even know what 2024 games could have come out. What games even came out this year? My mind's drawing a blank. One of the Xenoblade Chronicle DLCs came out, right? That's not an RPG though, is it? Oh no, it is an RPG. But it didn't come out. It was a DLC, I think, which came out this year. Oh well, let's guess it anyway. Let's see what comes up. Not Switch. So nothing to do with Nintendo. Alright, give me a one-time clue. Studio Zero? I should know who Studio Zero are. Because that sounds familiar. Do we think it's Zero Escape? Subnautica? Perfect Dark Zero? Horizon Zero Dawn? Wait, that was not this year. What am I talking about? UFO 50. I've seen Northern Lion play a bit of that. That's like with 50 different like mini games or something, isn't it? What was it called? UFO 50. Oh, I put for Faux 50. I was like, why is nothing coming up? UFO 50. Yeah, it's like a load of retro games. I saw Northern Player play a bit of it. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out, maybe I won't. I don't really know, to be honest. I also don't know what this game is. So, we're just going to throw away Hollow Knight, Undertale. Because I don't think I'm getting this game. I think I don't know what it is. And Aegis Rim. Metaphor ReFantasio. Okay, I just don't know that game. Feels like whole games, not just mini games. Retro style from another dimension or something. Oh, fair enough. I don't think I have much nostalgia for retro games, unfortunately, but like a retro which is in that sort of game. What game is this? It's like a... Is this the original Divinity? Original Sin? 82%. Is this your Baldur's Gate 2? I don't know what this is. I'm looking at this. Don't recognize it. I don't even have a good guess. It's like a Age of Empires or something. Like a late installation. 4, sure. Diagonal down platform puzzle elements. 2010. Oh, it's a Lara Croft. Sorry, Tomb Raider. I don't know which of these is the Tomb Raider. It's Tomb Raider 2, sure. Nope. Tomb Raider 3, Adventures of Lara Croft. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. Fair enough. Yeah, but you're on a lot of indie stuff and it might go crazy. I've actually seen it. That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I'll give it a shot. I don't know. There's too many games I want to play, unfortunately. Not enough time. Oh, I have to have a big stretch. You know, while I'm here, I might as well update the title screen to be the new one, such it can be used in the next coming months, which I imagine is probably not going to have that many streams going on. Things will certainly be busy. On that note, we're going to round off today's stream here, I think. So, thank you very much. If you have been watching, thank you very much. Hope we can see each other again. Where our next stream will be. I feel so tired. It's probably because it's getting dark, it's rainy. I got the light on, and it's only 4 PM here. But, until next time, I will bid you all farewell. So, bye-bye for now. It's kind of what it sounds like saying. Thank you for coming along. Oh, good stuff. I think it's a cute thumbnail art this time. Anyway, enough of that.